A tomb in Egypt. Two men, buried together, holding hands, noses touching, the ancient symbol for a kiss. Not a king and his servant, not two brothers, two men, buried exactly like a husband and wife would have been. This tomb is over 4,300 years old, so were ancient humans gay? The honest answer is stranger and more complicated than you'd expect. Let's start with what we actually know for certain. In Saqqara, Egypt, archaeologists found the tomb of two men named Niankhshnum and Khnumhotep. They were royal manicurists, and they were buried together in the same pose reserved for married couples, embracing, noses touching, surrounded by their families, who treated the burial as completely normal. That's not ambiguous. That's a tomb built around the year 2400 BCE, openly celebrating a relationship between two men. And it's not alone. In ancient Mesopotamia, what's often called the cradle of civilization, medical texts and artwork show that same-sex relationships were common enough to be casually documented, not hidden. In ancient Greece, it's well known, relationships between men were woven into philosophy, art, mentorship, even military structure. But Greece didn't just tolerate this. In one city-state, it became a weapon. Around 379 BCE, the city of Thebes formed an elite military unit. 300 soldiers, 150 pairs, every single soldier paired with his own lover. They were called the Sacred Band of Thebes. The idea was simple and brutal in its logic. A soldier might run from battle to save his own life, but would he run and leave the man he loved to die alone? For roughly 40 years, the Sacred Band was undefeated. They were finally wiped out at the Battle of Chaeronea, fighting Philip II of Macedon, Alexander the Great's own father. According to the historian Plutarch, the pairs died exactly where they stood, side by side, refusing to retreat, even at the very end. An entire army, built on same-sex love. And it worked. Greece didn't stop there. The relationship structure varied from city to city. In Sparta, it was woven directly into military training. In Athens, it shaped mentorship between an older man and a younger one, mixing education, status, and romance in ways that don't map cleanly onto how we think about relationships today. And it shows up in their stories too. Achilles and Patroclus, the two warriors at the heart of the Trojan War. Many historians and ancient writers themselves believed they were lovers, not just comrades. Even Plato wrote about it directly. In his dialogue called The Symposium, same-sex love isn't whispered about, it's debated, openly, as a serious form of love worth examining. So far, this seems simple. Ancient humans were just like us. But here's where it gets complicated. Because everything I just told you comes from written history, from civilizations that had language, records, and tombs. The real question isn't, did ancient civilizations have gay relationships? That part is settled. The real question is, did this go back further? Into prehistory? Before writing even existed? And this is where a lot of popular history gets it wrong. You've probably seen claims online about the oldest gay caveman found in cave art from 9600 BCE, or burial sites said to prove homosexuality existed deep in prehistory. Here's the problem. In 2015, a team of researchers published a detailed review in the scientific journal PLOS One, going back through every commonly cited piece of prehistoric evidence for homosexuality. Their conclusion was blunt. Not one of those sources held up. Not the cave art, not the burial sites. Nothing examined could be called, in their words, an unambiguous demonstration of homosexual behavior in deep prehistory. Take the most famous example, a skeleton found in the Czech Republic, widely reported as the oldest known gay man, a male body buried facing a direction and surrounded by objects normally reserved for women. Sounds like proof, right? Except, the archaeologist who actually excavated it, Bettina Arnold, said something very different to reporters. She pointed out this person wasn't even a caveman. He lived in the Copper Age, among farmers, roughly 5,000 years ago, thousands of years after agriculture began. And about whether the unusual burial proved his sexuality, her exact words were, "That's a little tricky." Because here's the deeper problem hiding underneath all of this. We're asking an ancient question using a modern lens. The categories we use today, gay, straight, bisexual, are relatively recent inventions. Some ancient and tribal societies didn't divide people that way at all. Some Native American cultures recognized as many as 7 different genders. Sexuality wasn't always sorted into the same boxes we use now. So when we look at a 5,000-year-old skeleton and ask, was he gay, we might be asking the wrong question entirely. The person buried that way might not have understood himself through any concept resembling our modern one. This is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. We want history to give us a clean yes or no. We want certainty, especially for a topic this personal. But prehistory doesn't hand out certainty. It hands out fragments, bones, burial positions, objects placed in a grave thousands of years before anyone wrote anything down. So here's where we actually land. Once humans started writing things down, the evidence becomes completely clear. Same-sex relationships existed, were documented, and in places like Egypt and Mesopotamia, were treated as a normal part of life. But before writing, before tombs we can read, the honest scientific answer is, we don't know. Not because it didn't happen, but because the evidence we'd need to prove it may be buried in a way history simply can't recover, and maybe that's the most human part of this whole story. Some questions about who we are, we're never going to leave a fossil behind.